Paulo Gonzalez, Fight Sport Manila. Joining me, Mr. Philippine Wrestling, the Señorito Jake De Leon. And we're talking over Inasal. I mean, where else are we going to talk over? Paulo Gonzalez, Fight Sport Manila. Joining me, Mr. Philippine Wrestling, FSM's Pro Wrestler of the Year, Jake De Leon.
Hey,
man, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank you again for having me right now. It's great. It's great to finally get to talk to you like this. So,
Yeah, definitely. We're so happy to have you, and we made sure we need to bring out the big guns. So we booked JT's last minute Cholo's idea.
Yeah, if you want me anywhere, just tell me there's Inasal and I'll be there.
Say there's Inasal, you get JDL.
Yeah.
Now, JDL, this could be the first time some of our viewers could see you. So, if you could tell them more about yourself, like who is JDL, where did your name come from, and what is PWR?
So hello everyone. My name is Jake De Leon. I am Mr. Philippine Wrestling, and I have been wrestling for 5 years now. I am a professional wrestler, and I have wrestled with Philippine Wrestling Revolution, or PWR for short, for my entire career. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a professional wrestler here in the Philippines. The sport is still very young. The art form is still very young. And our main goal as PWR and me as Jake De Leon is to make sure to keep on elevating the Philippine wrestling scene here in the country.
Now, aside from that, you are from Bacolod, right?
Yes, I'm from Bacolod.
That's why I chose Inasal. So I'm sure you have an idea on all the Inasals that you've tasted in Bacolod. How would JT fare on your list of Inasals?
When it comes to Inasal, JT's is really up there. A little story, because I went here to Manila for college, so I would always know what the taste of Inasal back in Bacolod tastes like. So I tried looking for it here in Manila, like during my time here when I was staying here. And out of all the places I've tried, JT's is definitely the closest I've ever had to any Inasal here in Manila. It's closest to home, basically. So thank you, Joel Torre, and I hope you come and be in my corner at PWR Homecoming.
Yeah, he has an invitation, and we're here. Joel Torre, you're the only missing
Joel
link.
Torre, yeah.
He also gave a shout out to you.
Yes, he did. He gave me a shout out. That actually came from my friend Noel, who works in the film industry. So he met Joel Torre, and then he asked him for a shout out. And I hope that shout out happens to turn into him coming out to me, with me, to the ring at PWR Special Homecoming. So just fingers crossed, everyone.
Fingers crossed. That's what he said last night when we were booking this. Look what happened.
Yeah.
And imagine Joel Torre joining you for the
please. Yes, I would love that.
That's gonna be amazing.
Love that.
Now let's go to PWR. A lot of great things happened to you this year.
Yeah.
But aside from that, one thing is you stepped down as the president of PWR, and Red Oliero took over. How does it feel to have that responsibility off you?
So sorry, Red, but it feels great. Honestly, the past 2 to 3 years that I was president, it was fun. It was a fun time. It was fun helping PWR grow, helping it develop into what it is right now. But when I first started wrestling, when I first came into Philippine Wrestling Revolution, my main goal was always just to be a wrestler. Actually, my main goal, if I wouldn't make it as a wrestler, I would help them out in marketing. But it turns out I'm a pretty good wrestler. So my time as president, it was fun. But of course, it came with its hardships. It came with its headaches and everything. There was a time, like the past few months to half a year, it's been draining on me. It's been heavier than it usually was. So I decided that if I keep feeling this, and if this feeling doesn't go away soon, I won't perform as president to the top of my game. So that's why I decided to talk with the board and everyone that it's been a fun ride, but I think it's time that I step down, and then hopefully someone who loves this as much as I do will be able to take it to higher places. And that is where Red Oliero comes in, especially along with his help in acquiring help from the Moe's Group Most Group of the Most Group basically. They're helping us with our shows right now and getting better talents, more talents, making everything bigger. So yes, I'm pretty sure that I found the best person to take the job from me as president, and we're doing pretty good right now.
All right, so before we go with the interview, let's have your food here, man. Okay.
There we go.
Chicken leg. He has the pecho.
Pecho sa akin.
Yan,
I'm a pecho man.
Pecho. And
Chicken breast always.
had garlic rice.
Of course. Ano natin, toast natin yung mga manok.
Yeah, let's toast. This is the bacolod.
Ito yung mga inasal toast.
Oh man, that
Sorry,
looks so
may
good.
chicken oil na ano sa'yo.
No, it's all good, man. I think that's the
That's the beauty of it.
the beauty of eating
Chicken oil is
this.
the beauty of it, everything.
When you eat this, do you use spoon and fork or are you all hands?
Pag mainit, malamang spoon and fork.
Okay.
Pero pag nasa bawlo daw, pag kahit saan actually, kung medyo kaya na, tatanggalin mo yung barbecue stick and then kakamayin mo na. Yan talaga.
Another thing that JT shared is how to make an inasal sauce
Yeah.
made by you.
Yeah, you wanna do that right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Alright.
Okay, let's do this.
Right.
Oh man, JDL helping out.
Alright, there we go.
Okay.
Ito.
Oh yeah, just make it there. And,
Alright. So what you do I make yours because you're holding the microphone?
yeah, just make yours and I'll follow it
Alright.
after.
So first off, you add the toyo right here. There you go.
Alright. How much toyo do you
I usually go my rule is like 2:1. So like 2 times toyo to 1, like yung again ito naman ang suka. You gotta put a lot of the, well, my goal again is 2:1. So like 2 times toyo, 2 toyo, 1 yung yung suka ko. And finally, you get the calamansi right here.
Alright.
Squeeze it out. Put it right there. Inasal. I usually like getting 2, so I hope you don't mind that I get another one. Nahulog
Knock
siya.
yourself out.
Now curious ka lang, are you just watching me right now?
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten inasal before?
I've eaten an inasal, but I just read your Curious Cat. You say it's too sweet to be called inasal. That,
That.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not,
right now, so like, sorry, and then I usually get one sile, just break it up so you can add that spice to your inasal. Just break it up right here. And there you go. That is my version of the sausawan.
have you converted anyone from the PWR roster to a JT spot?
I've converted a few of them. Like, I'm pretty sure like a lot of them like mang inasal. But I know like I know Evan Carlo became a convert recently. Matagal na convert siya. Matagal na si Grab Camus. He loves inasal because he's actually a second cousin of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he knows his inasal. And yeah, I'm pretty sure like there's a few people from the roster that have actually gotten this. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, let's go back. Going back now. One thing that I've noticed from Red Oliero ever since he stepped as president is that he mostly features himself in the pre-shows na lang because before he usually have 2-3 segments in a show.
Yeah.
Is that something when you were the president that you have that mind that I don't want to overshadow the boys?
Yeah, pretty much like when you're in a position of power when it comes to like you really don't want to put the spotlight on yourself too much, otherwise people will think that you're full of yourself. They know that you're the president. It's back to the Vince McMahon thing where they think, okay, he's putting himself in a good segment. But at the same time, if you're a person if your character works or like if your talent speaks for itself, why not put yourself there? It's actually been a thing that I also juggled with when I was president. Because like, I wanna have good matches. Like I do have good matches, but at the same time, I don't wanna like make myself a champion or whatever. But it's a delicate line to cross.
Yeah, I did notice that even in your reign as PHX champion, you made sure that your opponent had, a big spotlight on him aside from it's like putting him over even if you're winning.
That's always something as a goal, even as a wrestler. That's always your goal, making sure that your opponent looks good too. And in terms of Red, I have to say that he is doing his job swimmingly well. And it's not that he's just putting himself in the pre-show just because he feels that as president he needs to be in the pre-show or like he only has to stay there. He knows what's best for business, and if what's best for business is he puts himself in the pre-show first, not really like having to put himself in a prominent position. If that's what's best for the show, that's what he's gonna do.
All right, going back to PWR also, it's the improvement is amazing. Like, I thought Revo X would be a WrestleMania. then the next show after that,
Yeah.
then championship spirit.
Of course.
It's like you keep raising the bar up. How do you guys do it?
We just want to keep making ourselves better. The goal here is we just really want to put on good shows, good matches. Everyone in our company has that same mindset, has that same goal. So I think it's good that I think we have a good culture where we all want to like do better than how we did last time, and it shows because like as you mentioned, we want Revolution X to be our version of WrestleMania, but then again the next show comes and then we want to do better than that. So it always just keeps getting better and better. And I also have to attribute it to all the boys and girls in PWR also wanting to train harder, train better. Thankfully also that people like me, Crystal and Ken Warren fly out, learn different styles, learn different training stuff, so that we can pass it on to the boys and just again keep getting better and better.
Yeah, before we talk about you flying out, there are a lot of foreign talents flying in. Is it easier to book them now that you have this recognizable brand already compared to the previous years?
Yeah, it's been actually a surprise. Like even when we started out as PWR, once we started getting like a name for ourselves, people would actually message our PWR Facebook page to try and get bookings. Like, one person I can give you that actually like is very surprising that messaged us like way back in 2015 was actually a former NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa messaged our Facebook page back then asking if we could get him booked, but obviously we didn't have the money or like the means at that time, so we couldn't get him. And I'm glad that he's doing well now. But yeah, it's thanks to us continue like trying to improve the PWR brand, trying to just putting our stuff out there, showing everyone what we can do. A lot of wrestlers do message us and see if they can get bookings here, but of course we have to make sure that we get the right people and everything, make sure that we have the resources enough to get them here. And I'm thankful to say that over the past year and or so, we've been able to do a better job at that.
Yeah, and going quickly to you flying out and learning from different styles of wrestling and you're still their coach, right?
Yes, I'm still the coach.
How is it now training as a boot camper than it was before?
It's definitely better now than it was before, because when we first started out training in the first batch boot camp, we didn't know anything. We had a training DVD, which was owned by Bombay Suarez, our former head coach. We just would keep on looking. We just keep watching that training video, and then we would try to copy the moves, copy the training. And then eventually, we were very thankful that guys like Draven Sloan, Josh Bowserman came over. Guys like Sosai King from the UK came over. Kai Katana, Billy Swade. People like that who, like, for some rhyme or reason, was here in the Philippines and wanted to help us out. We're very thankful for them, so we can learn as much as we can from them and then just take their training and then make it better. And then recently, that's when we were able to fly out guys like Ken Warren, Chris Panzer, me, Crystal, Sadata, flying out to other places, learning different styles, and then bringing it home to make our craft better. We've been very blessed. Shout out to Chino Ginto. We've been very blessed in that department to just keep on learning and then keep on getting better.
Yeah, and let's go a quick spoiler. You tried out for WWE.
Yes,
we'll talk about that later. But when you came back, are you incorporating those drills right now to your new boot campers or even your wrestlers?
A lot of the things that we learned in the WWE, I'm also using it right now for our boot campers. Just a quick tip, everything that we've been doing with the newer batches of boot camps right now, it's been way faster. If you can see like how big our roster is, we've been churning out a lot more wrestlers at a faster rate. It's kind of scary. We're kind of have to need like either a second brand or another show within the month just to accommodate everyone. But yeah, it's taking on from the WWE tryout all the stuff that we learned there. We took parts of it and then took it home. I'm happy to say that a lot of what we've learned is also like a lot of what they taught in the WWE bootcamp, but just a lot of the philosophy that we learned from there, a lot of the training styles that we learned from there, we took it and then we brought it home.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm going to say. I saw you posted a picture of your boot campers.
Yeah.
There's so much already.
Yeah.
And I'm sure within the next 2 years, your roster is going to be full. Because right now, there are some wrestlers who don't get booked regularly, aside from, of course, the staples like you guys. So you're saying that in the future there are going to be 2 shows or another brand?
I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. I hope it does, so that we can like spread ourselves out and not like have to. Well, currently the current situation right now is people are fighting for their spot. It's basically it's not a handoff. We're not giving you a spot. It's basically you like showing us how good you are, how much you train, how much your skill is getting better, how much you promote yourself, how much you market yourself, how much the crowd likes you. It's a lot of different factors to take into to know if you are deserving of getting a spot in the card. Because like there's around 35 plus wrestlers right now, and you can only book so many people. And at the same time, it's also like a good thing for us because like that spirit of competition, that spirit of wanting to be booked on the show, it pushes people to do better, to work harder, and that's why we get better every show.
So that's why Kali Nueva evolved that quickly. Because when we were watching RT 2.0, and then we saw Kali Nueva and on Revo X. Man, it's like, where did this guy come from?
Kali Nueva, as much as people like to rag on him online, he's actually one of the hardest workers right there out in PWR right now, and he is trying to develop himself as fast as he can so that he can reach that top level.
Actually, it's your rosters. You guys are the reason why we stopped rating your matches. Because last year, the highest rated match I would give you is going to be the average of Mike Madrigal. Because he's so violent without being violent. He's so good. So you really evolved the sport. And, in the future, man, are we going to see... Like, how do you top that?
Again, you just try your best. So the best way that you can top it is like to keep training, keep studying wrestling, keep watching a lot of wrestling, try to get inspiration from everywhere. That is a skill that I'm glad to say that a lot of our guys in PWR have. They grab inspiration from everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's a WWE, New Japan, or like an indie promotion. They just see what they want to do, and then they do it great. Like guys like Mike Madrigal, guys like Ralph Mabayashi, a lot of our guys all just want to do better from the last match that they had, and it's a thing in our organization that no one wants to be complacent. Everyone wants to get better, so that's why every show gets better, because everyone is in that same mindset that let's make what we do better so that everything is better.
Yeah, you brought out Ralph. One thing that I noticed of him is I thought when his championship reign is over, I was thinking, how are you going to book him? And now with his baby face run, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to rating matches, because there are a lot of people who review matches, but you as a coach, when you see your boys wrestling, what are the things you look for to say this match is good, this match is bad, or what are the nuances that journalists miss out when reviewing a wrestling match?
Well, honestly, I'm not going to give out all of our secrets, but there's a lot of nuances that a lot of reviewers miss out on because it's either they haven't really tried it out for themselves, because there's a lot that is not spoken about in wrestling. But when it comes to me, when I watch a match, all I really look at is as long as their technique is okay, as long as they do it safe, and as long as the crowd likes it. Why would I mind? Because wrestling is subjective. For example, some people really like the death matches, some people like the straight up technical wrestling matches. So I can't really be the one to judge okay, I don't like your match because of this. But if the crowd likes it, why would I say anything? Because as long as they like it, or as long as they give you a reaction, that's good enough for me. And as long as you do the technique right, and as long as you do everything safe, just make sure everyone is okay, and the crowd likes it, that's a perfect match for me already.
Definitely. And I know you've been asked this for the nth time, but we have to go to the WWE tryout.
All right,
man.
no worries.
Could you give us a brief rundown on how that came to be and how you three got in?
The WWE visited the Philippines all the way back in 2017 for a PWR show. They came here for a Southeast Asian loop of scouting, and we just kept in contact. I had their email. Honestly, medyo makulit ako because I would email them I don't know, every quarter, every half year to update them on how I do. So they always knew about us. They kept tabs on me, Crystal, us guys. So when it came this year, they came they came to a show in Singapore. They were supposed to scout the Philippines, but they didn't really have the time for it. So they came to a show in Singapore, which Crystal and I were booked in. So they watched our matches, and it was Matt Bloom, NXT head coach Matt Bloom, WWE VP of Development, Talent Development, Canyon Seaman. They watched the show, and I guess we impressed. I hope we impressed, like me and Crystal, because like we were the only two Filipinos on that card, and lo and behold, I don't know, a few weeks later, a month later, they emailed us. We were invited to a WWE tryout, me, Crystal, and Ken Warren, and yeah, we had to get our visas in order, and then that was it. We would get our tickets and fly out.
Yeah, definitely. And regardless, if I'm sure they got impressed, but that's legitimacy for you guys. Because when you started, like in our first interview, I kept saying when I read your earlier comments, a lot of bashers talk. Now look at you, WWE. You got you three.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, and going to that, how was the experience training in the WWE style?
I have said this like multiple times, but I still have to say that the WWE training that we went through was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. A lot of it was a lot of conditioning, strength training, calisthenics. That was the harder part for me compared to the wrestling, because like the wrestling I had an idea of how to do it already. Like we've been training for wrestling. I've been training for wrestling for around 5 years already. So, but when it came to like how hard they worked, like when it comes to their conditioning or like their strength training, that was where I was like preparing my mental head into. But those 4 days of training was like a lot of fun, like the most fun I've ever had in my life, really.
Yeah, I kind of heard the podcast, the SGP podcast. Yeah. You injured your shoulder, but you didn't care.
And
also you won two. I mean, you got second place on two.
So they had like a combine competition. So like they had this one drill where you had to be like the fastest in. They had the other drill where you had to be like do the most of this drill. So I got second in both. There was this one guy from China who beat my speed, and then of course Trexis from Singapore Pro Wrestling beat my endurance training, so my endurance record. So, it sucks that I didn't get first place in anything, but at the same time, it's also like cool that I was able to like hang with like the NXT wrestlers.
But you're the most consistent. WWE, you need to find consistent wrestlers.
Yeah, hopefully. WWE just like get me,
Yeah. Going to that, man. If ever the WWE gets you, are you willing to fly to China? I think that's the PC would
maybe. I'm not. No word yet on where it'll be, but if they call me, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I mean,
but would you be ready for the traveling circus, so to speak?
Yeah. I'm anything that has to do with me trying to achieve my dream of becoming a professional wrestler, like making this dream into like into my daily life, my job, basically. The goal is to make money out of wrestling. And if the W comes calling and then they want me as a wrestler and then pay me to do it, why would I say no?
And also the WWE tryout is where the PWOGs came to be, right?
Yes, that's where the PWOGs came to be.
Now, you had your debut against the YOLO Twins. Mm-hmm. Amazing match, that super kick spot.
Thank you.
That's so amazing. Yeah. How do you guys plan to move forward from this? Because you did mention in a few interviews that Ken wants to go for the title.
Yeah.
And you're doing your own thing right now. But I mean, how are you going to be a tag team whilst going for your individual goals?
Well, the thing is, not what you don't see a lot in wrestling is like, if you're a tag team, you don't necessarily have to stay in tag team matches. Because like, ever since PWR started, it was me and Ken. We both were like very close when it came to like when we started training. So I just really wanted to be in a tag team. One of my dreams in wrestling was to be in a tag team. So like I was in like one-off tag teams with a lot of different people, like Bombay, Robin Sane, Vlad Sinsik. So I just wanted like a legit tag team. I wanted to do it with one of my best friends in professional wrestling, which is Ken Warren. So moving forward, we still have our individual goals. Don't get me wrong. I still want now that I'm not president, I can show people like, yes, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be a champion. I will work hard to be a champion. But also at the same time, I'm there to support Ken. He's there to support me. We're here to support each other in our wrestling goals, basically. And leads to the tag team championships, that's great. If it leads to individual championships, that's great. But my main goal, as I mentioned in the SGP podcast, my main goal is also to like bring tag team wrestling from the Philippines out there. We have a lot of great tag teams like the YOLO Twins, the Kakay Bros, the Naughty Boys of Philippine Wrestling. But at the same time, I also want to be like one of those tag teams, one of those leading tag teams, not just like a throwaway tag team where it's two singles guys together. I want to be a tag team known as like a really legit tag team, which is why we put a lot of effort and work into PWOGs, and hopefully, like if there are any like international promotions watching out there, if you need a tag team, you can call the PWOGs.
Yeah, definitely. With that theme and your gear, I don't think that should be a gym selfie daddy kind of
It's
tag
not a
team.
gym selfie daddy kind of thing. We've spent a lot of money on that.
So, since you called out all the international promotions, it means you're open that you and Ken Warren would travel the world as a tag team.
Yes, I'm more than open to us traveling the world as a tag team because we like, not to say that, not to like belittle anyone here in PWR, but when it comes to like, that's why we're PWOGs. Like pretty much, we've done pretty much everything there is to do here in the Philippines. So that's why, as much as I can, like with Crystal going to Japan and everything, I also want to follow in her footsteps. Like I want to be able to say that I've wrestled in Japan, or like wrestled in India, wrestle in China, everywhere. I just want to wrestle everywhere, and I want to do it with Ken. Well, with or without Ken, I will do it. But it'll be fun to like do it with the guy that you broke into the business with.
Yeah, come on, Ken. If you're not gonna do it with him, what's up with you, bro?
Do it, man.
And we gotta talk again. By the way, I mean, let's talk about the main event. You know, we're here in JT's. Here, Bacolod. This is technically your homecoming, but someone else is gonna have his homecoming.
Yes, he is.
3 of them are going to have their homecoming.
Yes, yep.
That's TJP, Jeff Cobb, and Billy Swade.
Yes.
But you are facing TJP. Man, how does it feel?
Well, when I first heard the news, when they first told me that I was going to face TJP, it was a great honor. Because TJP has been the guy, like, all around the world, he's been flying our Philippine flag everywhere in professional wrestling. And it's a huge honor for me because he, like, when I say Kuya, he literally is our Kuya. He literally has been here doing this for longer. He has been the guy that has been doing professional wrestling in the Philippines' name, along with guys like B-Boy, along with guys like Joaquin Wild in NXT right now. And I'm more than honored to be a guy that gets to face one of those pioneers in TJP on October 12 at PWR Special Homecoming. So that's why I'm not going to waste this. I'm not going to waste this opportunity. I'm going to make sure that whatever TJP throws at me, I'm going to be able to throw back.
Was it hard to convince him to go here?
I don't think it was. Like when we met up with him, he seemed pretty keen on the idea to come here and do a show here. And again, it's a big thank you again to our president Red Oliero group, his team with him, and also of course the Mo's group. When they said they were gonna make the moniker for this season of PWR, Never Miss a Show, they meant it.
Definitely, man. I never missed a show ever since then.
Yeah.
And with that, man, I saw you training so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've been doing those liftings. You know, how, like, outside those things you post, how dedicated are you in training for this fight? Like, how much do you allot per week training?
Well, right now I'm training 3 days a week. Of 4 if I count the PWR trainings. I'm training 3 days a week with my trainer. You follow him on social media at Stronger with Gab. So I knew this guy since college, and he actually, weightlifting has been in his like repertoire since then, and he's a competitive weightlifter also. So like right now I know that TJP will be able to like outstretch me and everything. So I'm gonna try to see what my power can do. I'm pretty sure I can try to match him up with speed, but in terms of flexibility and his many submissions, he's probably gonna turn me into a pretzel, but I'm gonna try to power out of that. In terms of how much time I'm dedicating towards this, I'm dedicating a lot because like I wake up like at 5 a.m. in the morning. I try to sneak in like watching a TJP match just to watch all of his moves and make sure I know them. And then I go to my training with my trainer at 8 a.m. And then after that I go to work, whole day work, and then go back home. I just try to make sure I eat right. Try to make sure that I don't eat anything too bad that will slow me down or hurt me in the process. But yeah, I'm dedicating like let's say for example, if a week is 100%, I'm basically dedicating around 80 of it this match.
What about the other matches in Homecoming? Could you run us down through your thoughts about them?
Well, obviously, we already know that Jeff Cobb will be facing for the PWR Championship. Whether it's going to be Chris Panzer or Cuatro remains to be seen. But whenever this drops, you'll probably know it already.
Yeah,
but yeah, watch out for that. Billy Swade will have a match. We'll see what is in store for him. Well, you know, he is attuned to gold, so let's not be surprised if ever he's also gunning for gold. Who knows? Who knows? And yeah, there's a lot. Like, there's also going to be Crystal versus Desiderata, who has wrestled for Impact Wrestling over in the States. And those are just like 4 possible matches that you're about to see on the Homecoming card. I'm pretty sure when this drops, the rest of the matches are going to be announced, but stay tuned.
But you guys are stacking it up. Like, for
stacking it up.
someone who's going to buy a ticket, you're going to make sure there's a Sulit Bayad chant.
We're going to make sure that every show from like Homecoming, even after, we're going to make sure that there's a Sulit Bayad chant all the time.
You as a fan, how does it feel that there's a card like this happening?
It's great because like as a Filipino wrestling fan, you don't really see a lot of this besides the WWE. The last one was like WWE FX way back in 2013 or 2014, I believe. But this is great. Like as a fan, as a Filipino wrestling fan, this card, the Homecoming card, will be purely all Filipino. It's a homecoming for everyone. So we're gonna show the whole world basically that Filipinos are also good at professional wrestling, and that's what the aim of this card is.
Now, as an athlete, you're main eventing this event.
Yes.
Do you think you're gonna be able to enjoy the fact that Jeff Cobb is going to wrestle before you? Or are you gonna be fully focused on your match?
Obviously, I'm going to be fully focused on my match, but I'm also going to be able to enjoy in the fact that great wrestlers like TJP, Jeff Cobb, Billy Swade, Desiderata are here in the country to wrestle in basically what is the biggest Philippine wrestling show so far. We're not sure what's going to happen after this, but it's going to be the biggest wrestling show so far. So I will enjoy in that fact. It will be, obviously in the back of my mind, I'll be preparing for my TJP match, but main eventing against TJP, but I will try to make sure that I enjoy watching Jeff Cobb's match or like watching Crystal's match with Desiderata and just watching Billy Swade in action again. I will try to enjoy as much as I can.
Well, we're going to be looking forward to your match. But before that, man, I think it's time for you to invite all our viewers.
To all the Fight Sport Manila fans, all the PWR fans, all the Philippine wrestling fans, I invite you to come watch PWR Special Homecoming on October 12th at the ABS-CBN Vertis tent. I believe it starts at around 7 p.m. So make sure you get your tickets now. Buy your tickets at tickettome.net, or you can also message the PWR page or go to our partners, Kramer Toy Warden, Tavern at the Crossroads. If you buy tickets now, when this drops, they're still discounted, but you can also buy them at the door. So just make sure to get your tickets and watch the biggest and the most ambitious Philippine wrestling show in the country happen on October 12th. And always, #never miss a show.
Never miss a show, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I think it's time we enjoy this.
We need to enjoy Inasal. All right.
Fight Sport Manila.
Thank you guys.